How are you? What would I do if someone paid off my student loan debt? Like, what would you do? Tell me. What would you do if someone paid off your student loan debt? Hey, Johnny, that's the question, not that hand. What would you do if someone paid off your student loan debt? Hmm. Just waiting for some people to come on. Um, just type it in. I'll do what I did when I paid off my own student loan debt. Like I'm hoping somebody just give me a what do they call it? Reimbursement for my own student loan debt since I paid it off myself. Look, this thing is sticking up right there. Oh, I would get natural hair care. No, it's a waste of money. What would I do? So, breaking news is that Robert Smith announced that he would pay off um, the student loan debt of all the class of 2019 at Morehouse College. Um, and that was big. That was huge. I just wish there were more Black philanthropists. Like it does not cost much to put us through school. Like we are what, 13% of the population. Okay, so there are 330 million people in America. And African Americans, Black Americans are about 13% of that population. Like we could do some stuff together. Really, like 10% of 330 million is 33 million people. Like 33 million people. That's all we got. It's not a lot of us. And because there's not a lot of us, we can really, really support one another. We can really, really support one another. We are the top consumers in the society. Top consumers. So suppose we just stopped consuming and started giving to one another. You know, started to invest in one another's businesses, putting each other's kids through school. Somebody talked about a digital susu. We're honest. Nobody's ripping off anybody. We're not stealing it. We're not getting greedy. Like suppose we decided to do something like that. There's not much of us to support. Let me make sure I'm right. I mean, I can't remember the last time. What is the population? What is the population of America? What is the population of America? Yeah, we've gone down. That's bad. 327.2 million. 300. Wow, we've gone down as a population. Like, I remember in the past we were 330, unless they were just rounding. What is the percentage of Black Americans? What is the percentage of Black Americans? Oh, they gotta get technical now. It's harder. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, Miss Stapleton. We are. I can't tell. Black. We are like 18% of the population. What was this? 2016. That's children, though. We're birthing more babies, but we're not that much of the population. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with 15% of the population. So 10% of 330 is 33. Half that is 15. So 48. Let's round it. 50 million people. 50 million people. We can support 50 million people. All right. So what would you do? What would you do if you, hey, Dimitri, what would you do if somebody paid off your student loans? Nobody's talking to me. This is what I would do. Step one, I would invest in the stock market. I would invest in the stock market. Like, man, if I was 22 again and had no student loans, hey, Ruben, what would you do if somebody paid off your student loans? I'd invest in the stock market. I'd have an emergency fund. I'd have bought a home. But I just would have done all that stuff sooner. Dimitri said act a fool. Oh, man. These brothers got their student loans. Somebody had it. I didn't have that much in student loans, so I wasn't really affected that much. I only had $15,000 in student loans. These guys had 50, 70,000 in student loan. Can you imagine, like, owing somebody $70,000 and then not owing them anymore? Wow. And now you're just, you've gained $70,000 worth of education, but you don't have to pay for it. Man, that's amazing. I thought you would be taxed on it, but apparently not. There was a new Forbes article says the way they're going to do it is they're going to make a grant and I guess reimburse the student loans before their graduation date. That's probably what's going to happen. So it'll be a part of a grant through college. They got to get that done quick, right? So that's what I'm assuming. So that's what Forbes says. So they don't have the tax on it, meaning they got loan forgiveness and they're not taxed on it. So they didn't get an income of $70,000. So they don't have to pay tax brackets of like 30% of that, Yeah, Sister Taylor said one person had 100,000. Somebody got paid off their debt of $100,000. You know what the value of that is? It's not a mortgage. These young people nowadays coming out of college are coming out of college with mortgages with no appreciable home. You can have a home for $100,000. You can have a home for $100,000, and at least you're living in your house. You have something to show for it. Some of us haven't even graduated, and we're paying off student loan debts. Haven't even graduated, and we're paying off student loan debt. So we have nothing to show for it. You got to be careful what loans you take out. You can't just take out a whole bunch of loans. It's sad that people have to take out hundreds of $1,000s in loans. Like I only had to pay. It's costing at Morehouse. It probably costs a lot of money. What's the tuition of Morehouse? Tuition of Morehouse. At Oakwood, my HBCU, I paid $10,000 to $12,000 a year. Okay, Morehouse is probably the same as Oakwood. No, it's not. Yeah. It's probably the same as Oakwood. $27,000 to go to Morehouse. Tuition and fees. No, I think tuition. That's just tuition. At Oakwood, tuition is less than that. Tuition is less than that. I think they're not. $26,000 is not counting room and board at Morehouse. Yeah, exactly. Oakwood College costs $16,750 to go to school for tuition alone. Add $10,000 to that room and board, that's $26,000. So it costs about almost $30,000 a year to go to Oakwood University. Do the same thing with Atlanta. Add $10,000 or more because it's probably more expensive to live in Atlanta than Alabama. you're paying almost $40,000 to go to Morehouse per year. So these people are taking out loans, $40,000 per year. Let's say they have zero money. So 40 times 4 is $160,000. And trust me on this one, you're not getting a federal student loan for $160,000. So they're playing, some of it is probably, hopefully, scholarships. But if it's not, then they're using Pell Grants, but that's not a lot. So they're probably using student loans via the government, federal student loans, subsidized and unsubsidized. That probably covers half. And they probably have to go get some parent loans or something. That's another set of loans. And then you got to get privatized loans, which is the worst type of loan. So to get paid off all their loans is amazing. Dimitri says you need to buy a house and have equity and refinance your house, pay off that student loan. Some parents do that. Some parents are refinancing their house to pay their children's debts, to pay their students' fees. No, I don't believe you should do that. My mother is so adamant against that. So is Susie Orman. You should not take out loans for your kids. You need to retire. You need to get you know, it's like the airplane people say, put the mask on yourself first before you put it on your child. If you are not financially settled, you should not be paying your child's tuition. You should not take out a loan for them. If they can't afford to go to college via their own student loans, they can't go to the college that they want to go to. It's time to put our foot down, because parents are going out in debt and they're passing it on to their children, and at death. It's going to screw them either way. You know, you need to set yourself up. You need to have your house right. You don't want to be paying mortgage at 80 years old. And you're going to, if you're paying off your children's debts. Your children live longer than you. They have time to pay off their debts. You don't have enough time. And these student loans, especially these privatized student loans, you can't bankrupt. You can't go bankrupt. You can't even file bankrupt to say, so students, if they want to go to school, they're going to have to foot the bill. What's up, Eric? What's up, Kara? What's up, Tiffany? Set yourself up right, parents, so they don't have to be struggling trying to foot the bill when they're 40 and you're 70, right? They now have their own kids and they have to take care of mom because mom didn't take care of her business. It's going to ruin them if you don't get yourself right. So parents, no co-signing, no Parent Plus loans, none of that stuff. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion. I really don't think you should. It's also Susie Orman's opinion, and I agree with her. Dimitri says, rent, credit cards, vehicle loans, these students have loan shark interest all over the place. Listen, my mother warned me. She said, Maya, do not. Back in the day, I said this last week, credit cards were allowed to come to colleges and trap students. What they used to do to us in the 90s is illegal now. It's illegal to do that. Shout out to Barack Obama. But they're finding ways, like you said, loan shark prices. People are taking out loans to pay for their cars. No, pay for your education with loans. It's gonna bite you in the butt in the future. When I was at Oakwood, I did not have a car all 4 years. I lived on campus all 4 years. I graduated in 4 years, I really believe, because of that. Let me see if I see any comments. You're saying students pay these bills. Okay. That's good, Sister Taylor. Yeah, that's the way you have to. But that's not normal. Hey, Ryan, a lot of these parents are taking out their special loans for parents. They're co-signing loans, private loans. They don't know what they're co-signing. They're taking out Parent Plus loans. My mother was like, sorry, baby, can't do it. So I had to get scholarships. I had to find it was in beginning freshman year was a little easier, but junior year started to get hard to pay for school. And I had to push through. I had to find opportunities to pay for school. And God provided. But yeah, I don't really think parents are making that much more now. And tuition has gone up 3 times. So people are taking out $30,000 of debt every year. That's how you're getting 70 and 80 and $90,000. If it costs $16,000 to go to my HBCU plus another 10 for room and board, that's 26 to 30. That's almost let's say that's $27,000. Times that by 4. 25 times 4 is $100,000. They're getting a mortgage. And a lot of them aren't even graduating. Or they're graduating with degrees that don't pay. Think about that. Like, I don't know what they're going to these colleges because they have good gyms. They got good parties. We got to change. It's time. Some of us have to start going to community college. Getting our associates, considering dual enrollment while in high school, getting the associates while you're in high school. So when you graduate from high school, you got a free associate's degree. Because when you're in public school, you could take college courses for free. It's called dual enrollment. So you come out with a year or 2 under your belt, then you only go to school for 2 years versus 4. Cut that bill in half. And you still doing that if you go to a certain type of school, coming out with student loan debt. But a lot of the times, especially as African Americans, you get scholarships when you do that. Listen, it's time to find other ways to pay for school. I said what I would do if I had my got out of debt earlier. I would have been in the stock market much earlier. I would have been a lot more riskier in the stock market. Yep, I would have much more money because would have gone in the stock market earlier and been much more risky. I would have bought my house earlier. But it's funny, like, I think student loans matured me, to be honest. Like, I had a responsibility with that loan. I had to pay it off. It matured me. I appreciate the student loan. As I said before, I didn't have that much. I had 15 grand, 15. It was real worth it. It was real worth it. So, but now these degrees with it costing you 100,000. I'm really. I'll end with this. I really believe that we need to support one another and create mechanisms to put people through school. So I created this endowment. I'm gonna put it on the website. It's called Generation X Doctors of OC. It's basically people like me who are Generation Xers. Generation Xers are basically people born in the late 60s all the way to 81. Everybody born in 81 and before, up to 67 or something like that. So there are a lot of 50-year-olds and 40-year-olds and late 30-year-olds in Generation X. We're really solid. We're really solid in our careers now, the professional ones. We're making enough money to support one another. Like, we can create mechanisms of change for like the younger generation so that they're not in debt. Because we didn't pay what they paid. That's the God honest truth. Like, I 15 grand is what I owed. These kids are coming out with $100,000 from undergrad. I'm not even talking. That's not even talking about medical school on top or graduate school. Man. So, I have a endowment. It's called Generation X Doctors of OC. It's basically Generation Xers, especially those who have degrees from Oakwood College, who who ended up becoming physicians, dentists, scientists, PhD scientists. All of us, we owe the next generation to pay it forward. Even if the generation before us didn't give us anything, but I know I got scholarships. I got UNCF scholarships to go to do research. Is because somebody set up a endowment for me, and so it's time for us to do the same. And so it's not hard to pay off student loans. Like this guy, he's worth $4.4 billion. He gave approximately 40 million. If you round it, literally, like if you make all the undergraduates have a degree that's worth $100,000, and everybody comes out of debt, which not everybody did, but let's say everybody had $100,000 debt, that's $40 million. He dropped $40 million. Do you know what that is? That is 0.001% of his net worth. He's worth 4.4 billion. You know what 0.001% of my net worth is? It's probably a couple $100. Like he get to be straight up. Some of us are returning in tithe a higher percentage than this dude just did. We just got to be. I really believe it's time that we be targeted in our giving. We got to be targeted in our giving. Some of us give, but we just throw stuff in the offering plate. We're not targeted. It's time for us to be targeted in our giving and have great level of accountability for what we give. So he just dropped 0.001%. For some of you, that's like $50. 0.001% of your net worth is probably like $50. Start giving. Give $50. Give $50 to a cause that puts scholarships in people's pockets so they don't have to have student loan debt. Let's create systems in place that they're not even in debt. Let's teach people entrepreneurship so they don't even have to be in college for years and not come out with any type of income. Let's teach people financial literacy. Let's stop kids from just taking out loans that they shouldn't get. Let's stop parents from taking out loans that they shouldn't get. That's what phenomenal financial freedom is for. Like, it's time that we teach people stuff. Hey, Keisha, what's up? Hey, Louisa. It's time. I'm 63 years old and I have student loans because of tactics back in the day. They used minorities back then. They're going to write it off in a couple more years, 5 more years. Okay. Yes, you had loans for that long? See, we're not teaching people. You shouldn't have loans for that long, Sister Taylor. What kind of tactics they did? What are you talking about? What kind of tactics did they do back in the day? Sister Taylor says, I know people in my age group right now that student loans took their Social Security checks until it's paid off. Yeah, they garnish your checks. I keep telling you can't bankrupt it. You can't go bankrupt. And you could go bankrupt with credit card debt. They could take your house, and they take your house, and then they write off whatever they foreclose. Right? You don't owe them after they foreclose on you. Not with student loans. They're garnishing your wages. They're garnishing your Social Security check. Student loans is not to be played with. Parents, don't take out privatized student loans for your kids. And they don't even graduate. And they're like, sorry, Ma. And they start garnishing your Social Security checks. I'm serious. It's crazy. Student loans aren't anything to be played with. Pay off your student loans or they're going to garnish your Social Security. You can't bankrupt it. So let's stop taking out student loans. Let's promote going to colleges that are cheaper. Let's force our colleges to stop overcharging our students. It's crazy. I mean, man. I said before, I don't think my mother made that much less than what parents are making today. Especially she's coming from New York. What she was making in New York is what probably somebody making in Florida right now. How is my mother could not afford to put me through Oakwood on what she made then now. She couldn't put a kid through Oakwood for $30,000 a year. I'm telling you, people right now are making, parents right now are making what my mother made 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's ridiculous. Student loans are ridiculous. Make your kids mindful. Like, our kids need to be mindful about what they're doing. This concept of, I like to go to this school, I want to go to this school because I've always want to go to this school, that's not gonna work. If you can't afford it, don't go. I want to go to this school because they have really good exercise rooms. Like, these schools right now are really plugging stuff that have nothing to do with academics. Nothing to do with academics. And kids are wasting time outside of class and not learning a darn thing. And they're coming out with regular liberal arts degrees that make no money, and they pop $100,000 just so that they can work out real nice. It's fraudulent, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Because if the kids ever get to see Social Security, yeah, I know, right? That's why we got to be in the stock market. That's why if I got my student loans paid off soon, I would be in the stock market right away. I would be investing in real estate right away. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Just to let you know, there is a video on here discussing student loan, just go in the search section and say student loans. And I think I talked about different types of ways you can forgive student loans, how you can get out of debt with student loans. And there's lots of videos that I've already posted. Just search it. Just search it. And good luck. Good luck, all of you, with student loans. I want you to post when you get free of those student loans. I'm free. I want you to post when you get free of student loans. Send me a message like, I'm free, and then tell me what you're gonna do with it. Nobody told me what they would do if they got their students' loans paid off, except for Sister Dimitri. She said she would go buck wild. I don't believe in joining the military. That's just me, though. There's some people that join the military. I just feel that I don't know if I could say this on Facebook, so ask me why I don't believe in joining in the military to pay for school offline. I'll tell you. But yeah, I don't think that's the way. Scholarships are the way. Community college, first couple of years in high school, especially if you want to go to Adventist school. If you want to go to Adventist school, shout out to Oakwood. I loved Oakwood, and I want you to go to Adventist school. But if you want to go to Adventist school, start putting your kids in dual enrollment in high school. You can go to Adventist schools in high school and then do dual enrollment too. Free. Dual enrollment in high school. For those of you who want to go to Oakwood, I don't have any problem with you going to Oakwood. I believe in it. I think it's an awesome institution. You make your dreams come true in that school, and I think it's worth every penny. I'm just saying, go while you're in high school, start taking community college classes and knock off an associate's degree and just go to Oakwood for 2 years. That's my advice, and I'm sticking to it. Go to community college for dual enrollment and put yourself at the Oaks. You make your dreams come true when you go to HBCUs. HBCUs are worth every penny, and do so well in dual enrollment that they'll give you scholarships. Prepare for the SAT so well that they give you scholarships. And so you're not paying a lot for these private schools. Private schools are really good because you usually get out in 4 years for the most part as compared to public. So do it. I don't want to do more than 30 minutes, so have a good evening. Thanks for talking to me, Sister Taylor. Bye.